Hello and welcome to Pearls of Paradise. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband and all of our yarn. Today is Friday, September 1st, and I'm really glad that you're here to join me for some knitting chat. It's a beautiful day in Northeast Ohio, so welcome. You can find me over on Instagram where I'm most active, Ravelry, my podcast email, all of that, and everything I talk about today should be linked down below in the description box if you're looking for anything. So if you're new here, a huge welcome. If you are returning, a big welcome back. I have a little bit to share, and we're going to talk about my fall plans, which this fall is going to be wild. So much going on. We'll get into that. I do have one finished object today. I have a few works in progress, not too much, and you'll find out why soon. And yeah, so let's get right into it. We'll start off with some admin kinds of things. As I just said, my fall is going to be absolutely wild. My September is pretty booked up and has been for a couple of weeks now. So I'm not sure what that means for the channel as far as my schedule for podcasting. Right now, thankfully, they don't appear to be here today, but there is construction happening right outside of my house. And from what we understand, they are going to be repaving our street and the street behind us. So we are on a corner. And yeah, the city where I live is redoing a lot of the sewer system. It's old, people's houses flood, it's a whole thing. So they're redoing it, and slowly but surely they've gotten to our street and the intersection that we live on. So it has been interesting and sometimes quite loud. So if there is a lot of construction in 2 weeks happening right outside of my front door, we'll probably just not podcast. I'll let you guys know for sure, either on Instagram or here on YouTube, probably both places, and kind of keep you posted. The next 2 weeks after that would be September 29th, I think. And we'll talk about why later in future knitting plans and life updates. I had to move my work schedule around to accommodate something else. So I will definitely not be podcasting that weekend. So yeah, September may not have a lot of episodes. This is a great opportunity. If you've missed some, go back and watch some of my older episodes, especially a few back. There were several episodes where I showed finished objects that I had started after the previous filming, so they only made it into one episode. So if you're looking for content, you can go back and check out some of my older things. This is all very inconvenient timing because we are in the middle of a make-along, and it bums me out that I may not be podcasting and spending time with you as much during that make-along. But these breaks are needed. Breaks are important. It's important to take breaks. It's self-care September, So that being said, let's talk about the make-along. If you want to win prizes, this is a good one to join because not very many people have. So you have a pretty good chance. My channel's pretty small, and I think the prizes are pretty cool. So what make-along? It is the Kit and Caboodle 2023 make-along. So basically, we're making things from kits or sets or advent calendars. Has to be a fiber craft, but does not have to be knitting, does not have to be crochet. Could be rug hooking, embroidery, macrame, punch needle, cross stitch, anything like that, anything fiber crafty from a kit or a set is good. WIPs are welcome as long as they were 50% or less complete by August 1st when the make-along started. And this runs through the end of October. So we still have lots of time. If you've got a kit laying around, especially if you have one that's fall themed, get that out, start working on it. I saw that Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady has a new crazy spooky make along or knit along or something starting I think today, September 1st, that use Halloween or fall inspired yarn or projects or something. So if you want to double dip, please do. Please feel free. I know Megan of the Fibromancer podcast is hosting, maybe co-hosting, the Halfway to Haunts make along. So same thing. There's a lot going on. Feel free to double dip. Totally fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Prizes for that. If you have been around a while, you are sick and tired of hearing about the prizes and everything. I'm sure things are bearing with me. So there will be 2 prizes, one on Instagram. Oh yeah, how can you enter? Use the hashtag, which has probably been at the bottom of the screen for a while, or if not, will be now. Use the hashtag over on Instagram. You can enter in the Ravelry group as well. We're just the Pearls of Paradise Ravelry group. It's down below. Enter over there in the finished objects thread. And if neither of those options is going to work for you, totally fine. Send me an email with what you're working on, your picture, your finished object, whatever. So anyways, there will be a prize for Instagram and a prize for Ravelry. So both prize packages will include one of these cute little pineapple cross stitches. I also have one. I have not worked on my cross stitching at all since we last spoke. Not at all. It's been busy. Very, very busy. So I haven't worked on it, but each prize package will get one of these. And then one winner will receive this kit for Stephanie Levin's shortcut cowl. And the yarn for that is dyed by Created For You by Laura. And the other prize winner will win from the Alpaca Yarn Company, the Forget Me Not Mitts kit. And the yarn for that. So anyways, I think they're pretty cool prizes. If you are someone who never wins anything, this is your time. Join this one. You have lots of opportunity because not a lot of people have entered. And please share. I would love for more people to enter. I would love to see what you're working on. I think it's really fun when we all make different things and do it as a knit along. I just think it's fun. That being said, have I worked on any of my kit projects? No. No, I have not. It has been a very, very busy couple of weeks. I have not had as much knitting time as I normally do. And summer was so weird. It's not my favorite season. It's probably my least favorite season because it's typically warmer than I would prefer and quite humid here. So it's just not my favorite. But it sort of flew by this year, I guess. I'm not really sure. But I realized a week or so ago, no, 2 weeks ago. I don't know if I talked about it on my last episode or not. That feels so long ago. But I realized I had one pair of socks that I needed to finish the second sock to enter for summer sock camp, which if you don't know, because for a long time I didn't know and everybody just referred to summer sock camp and I thought it was like a thing you had to pay for or something. It's not. So if you don't know what summer sock camp is, it is a sock knit along hosted by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast here on YouTube. It ended yesterday, so you can't enter anymore, unfortunately. But she's done it every summer for a few years. and you just make socks all summer, which I think is really fun and really cool. Did I do that very well this year? No, I did not. I thought I knit like 4 or 5 pairs of socks. And last night I was going through and making sure I had entered all my socks from the summer and realized total, I knit 3 pairs. That is it. Only 3 pairs of socks. And I don't know how to feel about that. Socks were just not my preferred thing to work on for the most part this summer, which is totally okay. But I was hoping to enter fall with like 5 or 6 new pairs of socks. And that's not happening. But that's okay. I did at least finish my last pair that I had on the needles that I had intended to finish for summer sock camp. So they are done. I finished these. I finished the knitting portion of these on Tuesday of this week. So August 29th. Woven my ends Wednesday morning. So August 30th. Got them blocked. They were dry just in time to enter August 31st. So let's talk about them. I don't think I've shown these in quite a while. So the pattern is the Hermiones Everyday Socks by Erica Lueder. This is a ridiculously popular sock pattern. I feel like everybody has knit this sock pattern. But the texture, okay, let's talk about it. So it's textured. The first sock, I did not enjoy this pattern much at all on the first sock. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if I wasn't as in the mood for a patterned sock as I had thought. I don't know. But I really enjoyed it on the second sock. The second sock was more enjoyable. I don't know why. The yarn is from Solstice Fiber Studio. And I bought this at Wool Gathering last year, I think. The colorway of the sock set is called the Salesmen, and I think it's from their Adventure Time collection, but I've never seen Adventure Time, so I don't really know. I liked the colors, and if I remember right, I was at their booth and looked at sock sets for way longer than anyone should ever spend choosing a sock set, and finally just had my husband pick. And this is what he picked. I don't know that he's ever watched Adventure Time either, but I love this colorway. It's so cute. And I'm really happy with how these turned out. Will I knit this pattern again? I don't know. I would definitely change some things. I knit it according to pattern for the most part. I made one tiny modification. The pattern calls for a 1x1 rib, which if you watched before is not my preferred rib. I prefer a 2x2. So I think next time I would do a 2x2 rib just because that's what I prefer to knit. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry, so I don't feel like I'm giving anything away. But she has you do an Eye of Partridge heel, which is fine. It's not my go-to heel. I don't mind it. But, and I think it looks like, I don't know if you can see very well because it's hard to see behind the camera. I guess you can. I think it looks good with the texture. It's really pretty. But if you can see, she's got you doing like a little like garter area here. And I like the fit of it. It fits my foot just fine. But I did not enjoy knitting that part of it. I don't know quite exactly why. I will say it did fix a couple of like tension issues though that I've had on my heels in the past. Where like I don't know if this happens to you, and I should have brought down another sock. But I think I want to say it's on, if you're familiar with heel flap and gusset, one side of my flap is looser than the other side. I think it is the side where you're slipping the first stitch and then the last stitch purled on the purl row. I think it's that side. I'm probably not explaining this well at all, but mine tends to be looser, and then you pick it up and it looks a little gappy and weird, and that did not happen with these. So even though I didn't enjoy knitting that, maybe I need to do that for my heels from now on. I don't know. Now, as I'm talking through this with you, I think maybe that is the way I need to go. Yeah, the one modification I did do is I picked up an extra stitch on the heel flap when I picked up for the gusset, and I created an extra stitch, which is normally what I do between the heel and the instep, just because it closes those little gaps and makes it neater. So now that I'm saying this, maybe I do like this heel. Maybe this is a solid heel. It probably is. It was probably just me and my, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the knitting part of it, but now that I'm thinking about it, this heel solves some of my sock issues. Something to keep in mind. And then I did do the toe completely according to pattern, I think, which was only slightly different than how I normally knit my toes, so that was fine. So yeah, those are my Hermione's Everyday socks. And I like them. I think they're really cute. I recently bought a pair of royal blue, like very similar to this color, very close pants. And whoop, I think these will be so cute with those pants this fall with my my Birkenstock clogs. I think that's going to be super cute, and I cannot wait. Oh, the other thing, which I was finishing up the cuff in the car a couple of weekends ago. We went out of town for my great uncle's memorial. And this is the second sock, and I can tell because I have no idea what happened. I thought I knit them the same, but clearly I just shorted this cuff like 2 or 3 rows. I don't know what happened. I don't really care. Once it's on, I'm not going to notice, and I don't know. I have no idea what happened there, but it's fine. It is what it is. It's totally fine, but I think it's funny. But yeah, that's my only finished object today. Let's get into whips. So we'll start with the things that I didn't bring over to show. I did get a little bit done on my Vertices Unite, but there wasn't enough substantial progress to where I felt like it was worth showing. I'm still in the same section. I have not picked up for the I-cord border yet. I don't think it'll take me too much longer to get to that point. I don't think it'll take me a lot of active knitting time to get to that point. I just have no idea when I'm going to get time to pick it up again. So we'll see. But I didn't bring that over because I didn't think it was worth showing. And I'll give a Pickle progress update. So if you're new here, I am knitting 50 Jolly Pickle ornaments for my uncle's company for their Christmas gift this year. And I have 5 that are completely completed. These need to be done by mid-November, so I still have plenty of time. And I think I had knit and stuffed 5 more pickle bodies the last time that we chatted. And I said that I would definitely have more finished pickles to show you this time. I do not. I don't have any completely finished. But what I did do is I knit all of the hats and the pom-poms for those pickle bodies. And then I have knit 4 more pickle bodies that I still need to sew and stuff. So I think my goal, my ridiculous goal, is I would really like, by the end of the day, Monday, to have 25 finished pickles. Will that happen? I don't know. But that's the goal. So I think what I'm going to do is continue to knit the pickle parts separately, then assemble all of them at one time, all 25. I would like to have the first half done before I move into the second half. but I think that that is doable because it really only, I can get a pickle body knit up in under an hour. I'll have a lot of knitting time, hopefully, this weekend. And the little hats and pom-poms really don't take long to knit. So that's my hope. We shall see, because that means I need to knit 11 more pickle bodies. Well, we'll see. It's a goal. Doesn't mean that I have to meet the goal, but that's the goal. That's what I'm aiming towards. And the bigger the goal, the more likely I am to actually get there. That's how I tend to work. I'm not a tiny goal person. I tend to be a bigger goal person. Anyways, all that to say, I didn't think it was worth bringing over a ton of little tiny parts to show you. But next time I should have a whole bunch done. I have to get a whole bunch done. Okay, we'll move to the next whip that I do have to show you, living in my little Dapper Fox bag. And I have no idea how to pronounce the name of the pattern. All the patterns names and stuff should be showing up probably over here on the screen for you. And I didn't knit a ton on this. I didn't put a progress keeper in because, well, quite frankly, I thought it was going to be a finished object and life happened and it wasn't. And that's fine. I'm not in much of a hurry. But I think the last time I talked to you, I was in here and now I've gotten a little more done. I think I had taken this with me to knit on at work one day and then realized I'm at the point where I need to start decreasing. I think there are a lot of sirens going on outside. Okay. I was at the part where I need to decrease, I'm pretty sure. And I didn't have enough stitch markers, if I'm remembering right. And I really felt like it was important for me to put those stitch markers in to keep track of the decreases. So, but I love the color work. I love how these colors have come out. I was knitting this for a friend, but I don't know if the friend's going to get it now. I may snag this. We'll see. It's really pretty. Or I may knit mine in different colors, which is what I'd originally planned. And I am just using, for this one, all of my leftovers and scraps of my Knit Pick City Tweed DK. And the colorways are Plum Wine, Snowbank is that pretty white, and that pink is Primrose. I love City Tweed DK. It's an alpaca wool tweed blend or something. I'm doing such a good job podcasting today. I am not remembering anything, but yeah. Oh, and I forgot to say my socks I knit on a US 1.5 needle, and these, all the stitches are falling off. It's really okay though. It'll be fine. They're not going anywhere. Is a size 6. Size 6. Oh, okay. I guess I had a new cast on that I completely forgot about. And now this is coming back to me. So yes, that is exactly what happened with the markers and the decreases. And so I couldn't work on that anymore. So I cast on another one. Same pattern, different yarn. This one is for my husband. And I had knit him a while back, which he finally was able to wear this week. We had a couple chilly days. I knit this Mammoth shawl by Gabrielle Matthews. For him, you guys have seen this in West Yorkshire Spinners, colorway, DK. You guys, I don't remember what it was. West Yorkshire Spinners Fleece. It's a DK weight, Blue Face Leicester yarn. And this is, the colorways are Ravine, Fossil, and Forest. So I am using my leftovers to make him a hat. The same pattern as the others, but I did get that started in the Ravine color. Not much to show there. So anyways, those are my hats that apparently I worked on have very little memory of working on. This is what happens when I go so long between filming. And it wasn't even that much longer. It was like 3 extra days in between there. And I don't remember anything. I don't know what we're going to do if I can't record at all the rest of September. If that happens, I don't even know what October's podcasts are going to look like. They're going to be crazy. Anyways, there's that. And hopefully they would have a lot of content. That would be nice. Okay. My last whip, I told you guys I don't really have a whole lot, was living in my lemon bag the last time that you saw it, but it has since outgrown that bag, and in my heart, it is fall. Fall to me started when I felt like it did. And it's living in my pumpkin bag, and I do not remember the maker of this bag. I want to say it could have been J&J Craft Co., but I'm not positive. But I love this bag. I've had it for several years. It's a really nice size, and it's just so fall with all the little pumpkins with their different patterns and the polka dots. Makes me happy. So this is my Autumn League pullover by 2 of Wands. And I believe this was my summer solstice cast on. I cast something new on at each solstice and each equinox, just as a fun changing of the seasons thing. And I cast this on. I think I worked on it for 1 or 2 days and then put it away and didn't pull it out again until this past week. Because I realized, I finished my socks. I got those in for summer sock camp. And I thought about my other goals and my other deadlines for things. And realized I have a whole lot of things that need finished in the next month. A lot. And one of the goals that I had set for myself at the beginning of 2023 was to knit myself a sweater each quarter of the year. I haven't been a huge garment knitter for myself prior to this year. I've knit maybe 1 or 2 a year for the past few years. But I really want to level up my garment making. I really want more in my wardrobe. I'm trying to transition to more of a handmade wardrobe. And as pieces wear out or no longer fit, or I don't like them anymore, or something along those lines, I am not, for most things, going out and buying a replacement item. Instead, I'm waiting to make or knit myself something, which has worked okay so far, except I'm now getting to the point where I've gotten rid of more than I've replaced, which in some cases is okay. And in other cases, I'm really feeling the gaps in my wardrobe. So that being said, I desperately need more sweaters, a couple more for this fall and winter. I just don't have very many. I just don't. And I'm someone who tends to wear clothing for a long period of time, for a lot of wears. I don't shop a whole lot for clothing. I don't buy a lot of new things. I just sort of wear what I have. So I have pieces from when I was in college, well over a decade ago. I recently got rid of some things that I had in high school. I tend to try to buy things that I think will last a long time, that will be in fashion for long enough of a time. Anyways, this is just my whole thing. Totally okay if that's not you. That's just what I do. But as I'm transitioning to a more handmade wardrobe, I need to get on it. So I realized the third quarter of the year will be coming to an end at the end of this month. And this was my third quarter sweater, and I needed to work on it. So I got so far on this since I last touched it. like I said, this is the Autumn League pullover. I am using the recommended yarn for the pattern, which is Lion Brand Cotton Jeans, which is, I think, 100% cotton, but I could be wrong. I have a ball of it right here. We could look. Yep, 100% cotton. So here's the label, just in case you are interested at all or you're looking for this. And I am really liking the yarn. It is nicer than a lot of the cotton, like big box store cotton that I've gotten before. It's really, really nice. And let me hold this up again. I really like the pattern. I am sure if you've been around a lot of knitting podcasts, you've probably seen it. This pattern's been very popular the last few years, really since it released, because it is a little bit more of a budget-friendly yarn. I still wouldn't call it super budget-friendly. It is a little bit pricier, but it's definitely less expensive than hand-dyed yarn or anything like that. And you could totally knit this in an acrylic if you wanted. I really like that it's knit in cotton. I need some transitional pieces as we move into autumn for those days when you start the morning and it's cold, but then by the afternoon you're sweating. This will be really good. And it's got kind of a sweatshirt feel. So it's a top-down raglan. I love this little crisscrossy detail there. It's so enjoyable to knit. So and I'm going to move this Progress Keeper to the body, but I was here on the sleeves, and it's probably hard to see. This is a little spider web Progress Keeper. So I was here. I was not very far at all. And then yesterday, I finally divided for the sleeves. So now I'm just going round and round on the body for a really long time. Yeah. Can I get this done by the end of this month? I don't know. Ideally, I would really, really, really like to have this done by the autumnal equinox. This is gonna look so good. I'm so excited about it. I would like to have this done by the autumnal equinox. That being said, that's like 3 weeks away. I don't know that I can finish this in 3 weeks with the other things that I also have to get done. So we'll see, because this is just for me. And if I miss the autumnal equinox deadline, but I make the September 30th deadline, that's still the third quarter. I will still be happy. And even if I don't make it, I'm the only one putting pressure on myself to do this. No one else is. So if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I am really, really enjoying it. Since I picked it back up, this is really all I wanted to work on. I don't want to work on anything else. I just want to keep going on this. I tend to be more of a product knitter than a process knitter. So the fact that I really want this sweater is very, very motivating for me. I am really just enjoying it too. And the round and round and round is just speaking to me right now. So there's that. Autumn League pullover by 2 of Wands, Lion Brand cotton jeans. If you have not checked out this pattern, which again, if you're a garment knitter and you have watched YouTube pretty much at all in the past few years, I'm sure you've seen this. I'm sure you've checked, looked at it. I know Michaela of Sugar Folk Homemade, go check out her channel. I saw on Instagram she just finished hers, I think. Oh, it looks so good. So I know she'll be talking about hers. I need to catch up on her last couple of episodes, but I'm sure she's been talking about it. So go check her out. She always makes really cool things. But yeah, a lot of people have knit this. I know one or two or maybe all three of the sisters from Cozy Up Knits have knit this at some point. I think one of them knit it twice even. It just looks like a great sweater and it's a great pattern. Go check it out. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about that now. Let's move on. I'm going to just get a sip of coffee real quick. I don't normally talk about what I'm drinking on the podcast because I usually edit it out. Mouth noises and swallowing noises on YouTube tend to bother me, so I try not to do that. But anyways, I usually just have my Contigo travel mug. That's what I drink out of most of the time. I've got some state park stickers. And inside is Bones coffee, which is my absolute favorite. I drink it all the time. It's pretty much all we drink at our house. It's our one indulgence, and I'm drinking the S'morey Time flavor. Okay, I hope that you guys could not hear that. Because just, I don't know, it bothers me. Anyways, that's what I'm drinking most of the time. Could be a different flavor, but I don't know. Do you guys like when podcasters tell you what they're drinking? I actually do enjoy that. I just don't like the noises. I don't know. If you guys are interested, I'm happy to tell you. It doesn't bother me any to tell you, but okay. Whew. That's all I have for whips. So if you were just here for the knitting, thanks for joining and we'll see you later. But if you want to stick around and hear about stash editions, an upcoming giveaway, all of my future fall plans, life update, what I'm reading and watching, then I'm glad that you're sticking around. Okay. Let's see. I actually made show notes today, like very loose show notes, which I haven't done in forever. Normally I just remember everything, but there was a lot I wanted to talk about. So we'll do stash editions next. So the first stash edition I have is, I don't know, not super exciting. It's just this little giraffe canvas bag I picked up when we went to the zoo last weekend. It was pretty inexpensive for such a nice quality bag. And I think I'm going to use this. It's not very wide or deep. I don't know. I'm not good at volume and geometry or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, it's not big. So I think I'm going to use this for my embroidery and my cross stitch projects because I really don't have a bag or a container that is working for me with those right now. So they're just sort of laying out. And it's got all these giraffes. And I thought it was just really pretty and a nice, inexpensive project bag option. So that's my plan for this guy, but I just thought I'd show you. So I'll move my embroidery and cross stitch projects into here now that I've shown you. So there's that. The next stash edition I have is, we'll talk about this. So I went to, I wish I could remember the name about it. I talked about it in my last podcast. I think it was like the Smithville Fiber Festival. It was in Smithville, Ohio. And we were on our way down to my uncle's memorial. We stopped there. We had planned to, it was kind of along the route we had planned to go. And we got there and it was quite small. Smaller than I thought. There was only one dyer, but we ended up spending a lot of time there. They have an old weaving mill that they still use. They had looms set up. We toured it. We talked to one of the weavers. It was amazing. Really, really incredible. They have a store where they sell the things that they make. They do not charge nearly enough. They had pairs of hand knit socks there for like $15. And I just feel like they should be charging so much more. But everything was really, really pretty. And one of the artisans at the like the festival had some booths set up. I didn't get a lot of pictures. I think I got a couple, but I will put them in at the end. I got pictures of the mill, like all the looms set up and everything, and just some of the booths. But I got these, I don't know if you can see these. Let me try and scooch a little closer. Okay, there we go. These earrings have pressed flowers inside. And the artist, I will link her down below as well. She is amazing. She had trays with pressed flowers, bookmarks, hair clips, all kinds of stuff. It was so beautiful. And she goes out and picks the flowers and presses them herself and makes all of these beautiful, beautiful things. So I did pick up a new pair of earrings and I've been wearing them quite a bit and I love them. And then there was, like I said, there was only one yarn dyer there. I'm going to move back a bit here. Okay, there we go. Now I'm a little more comfortable again. And so it was, I want to say, were they a mother-daughter duo? I don't remember, and I don't remember their names. I feel so bad. But the name of their yarn company is But Did You Dye Yarns, and they're all fitness-inspired yarns, which if you've been around, I'm not like a fitness person really at all, but I thought that their yarn was just beautiful. So I bought 2 skeins. This one is for me. And it says the series, which I don't quite know what that means, is Benchmark. The colorway for this is Annie. And this is Superwash Merino, and it's a worsted weight. So I picked this one up for me. And it's so pretty. It's got all these yellows and pinks and oranges. And it's just bright and sunny. And I was really feeling it that day. I have no idea what this is going to become, but I don't have a lot of worsted in my stash, and I'm trying to remedy that. So I got that for myself, and I also picked up one of their gym lockers, the mini gym locker. So, which I think is just so cute with the brown floral print. And the zipper's olive green. It's got a little carabiner. And then you open it up and there's all kinds of room for your little stitch markers or notions or whatever. It'd be great just clipped onto a project bag. And it says that the color of the fabric is called Vintage Grandma. I love it. It's so pretty. So I picked those 2 things up for myself. And then I picked up almost the same exact thing for you. So I picked up one with a black zipper in the same color and the same yarn, but this one is in a DK weight. I feel like a lot of people like to use DK. So at whatever point we reach 500 subscribers here, we'll do a 500 subscriber giveaway with these 2 items. So if you would like the giveaway to happen sooner, please share. Just share. If you can, give the video a like if you want, or comment or whatever. All of that helps other people see, so that when we get to 500 subscribers, we can do a really fun little giveaway. So that's what I picked up there. And yeah, it was a really lovely, lovely little festival. And more stash editions. That's right. I have some more. I think the last time I podcasted, I said that I had no idea when I would have more stash editions. Now I don't think I will for a while. I don't. I think we're good now. But I picked up some things at Joann's because I had, you know what? Let's back up. So I have had the Flax by Tin Can Knits sitting in my queue for forever. And I really wanted to knit this, but it's a worsted weight sweater. And worsted weight yarn, I feel like, can end up being quite expensive simply because with a fingering weight, you get a lot more yardage per skein. So if a sweater takes 1,200 yards of fingering weight, you can get that with maybe 3 skeins of fingering. But if it calls for 1,200 yards of worsted, that's a lot more. I don't know. I feel like with worsted, you just have to buy a lot more skeins for a sweater. It ends up being very expensive. It takes up more space to store the yarn. I don't know. It just ends up being a whole thing and isn't always accessible for me. And I had really wanted to do the flax in like a hand-dyed pretty yarn. But with our current budget, I just didn't think that was going to happen. So I'd been thinking about this all summer, and kind of somewhere partway through the summer, I think, Taylor Earle of the Wool Needles Hands podcast, and she's also the dyer behind Fiber for the People. She, and her channel, if you have not checked it out, is amazing. I feel like this is also sprinkled with podcast recommendations today. It's fine. It's amazing. It's so informative, and she goes through and will do episodes talking about yarns for patterns in every budget. And one of the yarns that she had talked about that I don't know that I'd ever heard of before she spoke about it is Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool. And she talked about how budget friendly it is, and it can be found at Joann Fabrics, which is local to me, both literal, like the Joann's headquarters is located local to me, and there's, they're a big box everywhere store. But I have one that I actually pass every single day on my way to and from work. So I had looked at the yarn a while ago, and it is budget friendly. It's normally, I think, like $13 something, $14, somewhere in there, US dollars per skein, which you get a lot. It's over 400 yards of 100% non-superwash rustic wool, fisherman's wool. So it's very affordable as far as that goes. But it still is, if you need to buy 4 or 5 skeins, it's still pricey, It's depending on your budget. So I thought, okay, Joann's always has a lot of coupons, and I know eventually it's going to go on sale. I will wait for a good sale and good coupons to come out. And this was the week. It finally happened, and I'm so excited. So my husband had also kind of loosely, I know he's wanted me to knit him a sweater, and I've thought about it, and the flax is written in a bajillion sizes. I've seen ones for babies, ones for men, ones for women, everybody. Sweater, flax for the whole fam, So that's what we're doing. I ordered a sweater quantity for him online. We went to the store. We looked at the colors that Joann's carried. They carry 4 out of the 6 available colors. And they only had 2 skeins there of the Nature Brown, which is what we got for him. So I just ordered that online, which allowed me to use a different coupon. So it ended up actually the whole thing ended up cheaper doing it that way anyways. And I bought mine in store. So for mine, and this is Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool, it's squishy, it's quite rustic, and mine is in the Oatmeal colorway. And they did have the quantity that I needed, and it smells sheepy. Like, if you are somebody who likes that sheepy smell, just go to Joann's and sniff the yarn. Just sniff the yarn. It's so good. But yeah, this is the Oatmeal colorway. I don't know if I said that or not. Also, who am I? I'm knitting a gray sweater, and we're moving from gray to oatmeal. what? I don't normally do neutrals. If you've been around a while, I'm normally a neons person or super bright. I don't typically gravitate towards this, but I have noticed I want more neutrals in my wardrobe just to have so that I can pair them with brightly colored things. And yeah. And also natural wool doesn't tend to come in colors that are neon because sheep are not neon. I wish that there were neon sheep. That would be amazing. There need to be some neon sheep. That'd be really cool. But I don't think that's going to happen. So anyways, this is going to be for my Flax. And I'm very excited about it. I ended up getting 4 skeins. And I am just so excited. This may end up being my 4th quarter sweater, but probably not. And I'll explain why in a minute. But that's kind of partially my intention. So it says it's oatmeal. I feel like this is kind of a very light gray. To me, oatmeal has a little more of a brown undertone, but maybe once I start working with it, I'll feel differently. So I don't know, but I'm very excited. I was hoping, because my husband's yarn for his is out for delivery, and I was kind of hoping it would come in time for me to show you, but it has not. And I wanted to go ahead and podcast, so oh well. I am going to knit his first because I can't decide what size I want to do for mine, whether I want to do the same size as his or one size larger to just accommodate my full bust. I haven't decided. So I'm going to knit his first, then try his on, and then I'll decide if I want more ease or if I'm happy with that one. So I'm going to do, I think the size large for him, which is has a 43-inch chest measurement, which should give him a few, like 4 inches of positive ease. So that'll be good. And I had put up a poll, not a poll, I just asked on Instagram, and a couple of you did respond that you thought I should do the size with more ease. So thank you for that. That is what we're going to do. So anyways, I picked that up. And you know how sometimes you get a coupon that's like $10 off of 50, I think is what this one is, but you're under 50, but if you added something, you would end up getting the thing for free, pretty much, right? We've all been there. And anyways, there were a lot of coupons going on. So after doing the math, my husband has also wanted me to knit him a pair of socks. And I typically do not knit socks as gifts. I know a lot of people do, but for me, to make sure they fit right is a lot of work. And I also, most of the year, only wear my hand knit socks. So they're constantly getting worn every single day. And I usually focus on just adding to my socks. But my husband's been wanting a pair of socks. And he's so knit-worthy. So I'm going to knit him a pair of socks at some point this winter. And we picked up a couple of skeins of this Patons Kroy FX in the colorway Cadet colors. He chose this one. And I don't believe I've ever knit socks with Patons Kroy, so I am interested to see how those work up. But I ended up, these were not on sale, but I ended up having a bunch of coupons, and these I think ended up being free or close to it. So that was pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So yeah, so those were things that were already on my list. All of that kind of moves us into future plans. So if you have been around this year, you know that 2023 has become the year of the baby shower. And I talked, I think last time, about my friend Lauren is having a baby in January. Her baby shower's at the end of October. And I thought that was the last baby I was going to be knitting for this year. Oh no, friends. Oh no. the baby showers, they just keep a coming. So, my husband's stepsister, who, I don't know very well. We've only met her a few times. His dad and stepmom got married a few years ago. So they've, known each other and been married quite a bit less time than we have. And it's his family's a very large blended family, blended in many different ways, which is amazing. But I don't know her very well. So his stepsister is having a baby, her first baby, which is very exciting. And she's due in November. I hadn't gotten an invitation or anything, which is totally okay. I assumed I wasn't invited to the baby shower. No big deal. No problem at all. And then I think about a week ago, my mother-in-law texted me and was like, hey, I haven't gotten an RSVP from you for the baby shower. And some people didn't get invitations. Did you get your invitation? And I was like, what are we talking about? I don't know. So anyways, I was invited. So I have another little one to knit for. And that baby shower is September 30th. So I do not have a lot of time. They are, my sister-in-law and her husband are not finding out the gender ahead of time, to my knowledge. I don't believe so. So I am so grateful that when I ordered the yarn for my friend Lauren's baby's cardigan, that's a girl, I randomly tacked on a couple of skeins of gray. And we talked about this. I think this is like the colorway December Skies, Cascade 220 Superwash Merino. And this is going to be a flax for this baby. I'm hoping that I can get it done by the end of the month. I'm very concerned about that. I don't know. Normally I knit, I'm not a monogamous knitter most of the time. You all know this. And it normally takes me like 6 weeks to do a baby sweater just because I'm working on other things. And I don't have 6 weeks. I have like 28 days to knit a flax, which I know it's doable. It's also gray, another neutral sweater. But I have the yarn and that's what's going to happen. So we're going to knit a baby flax in the gray yarn. I don't think, Kaylee, if you watch this, I really hope you don't. Maybe I'll put a little disclaimer. I don't think she watches. But anyways, yeah, I hope she likes it. I am a little bit nervous about knitting a superwash merino for someone who I don't know super well as far as like the care and stuff goes. But I think we're just going to do it and it'll be fine. It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. So yeah, so that is what's happening here. That's the main reason that I am not podcasting, that I'm for sure not podcasting the last weekend of this month, because I had to move my work schedule around and trade with someone in order to be able to go to the baby shower. So, 4 baby showers in a year. 4 baby showers in 6 months is what it will end up being, which means a lot of baby knits this year. So, anyways, that's truly the first flax that needs cast on. So that kind of takes me into my future plans and my future fall knitting and all of that. So that's most of it. I really want to work with like my Halloween inspired and autumn inspired yarn that I have in my stash, but I don't know that that's going to happen. I need to get working on the pickles and the baby knits and my own, I would really like to have the socks and sweater for my husband done for Christmas. That would be ideal for me. I don't know if that'll happen or not. We'll see, but I I would really like to have that done for him for Christmas. If you've been around, you know I've been knitting him a vest for a really long time and the pattern has disappeared and I still can't find it. So I'm taking that as a sign that that's to be just put away and set aside, and that's okay. We'll move on to the Flax. It'll be great. He'll love it. It'll be fine. This episode should be titled, It'll Be Fine. So I am, because I don't think I'm going to be able realistically to knit myself a Flax before the end of the year, just with everything else I have going on. And I have whips that I want to work on and all the things. And I was trying to figure out what to do for my 4th quarter sweater because I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. And initially I was going to do the Party Cardi by Amba O'Brien, but that's fingering weight minis, which would play into another one of my goals from this year, but I don't think I can realistically finish a fingering weight cardigan the last quarter of the year. And I don't know that I want to this year. So that might be a good New Year's cast on. I don't know. Anyways, I don't think I'm going to do that. And I had thought about my Flax, but I need to knit my husband's first, and I have a baby one, and I have my friend Lauren's baby cardigan. I have a lot of things. I have a lot of sweaters I need to knit before the end of the year. It's wild. Absolutely wild. I want to knit myself a pair of Christmas socks. So many things. I need like a month off to just knit for like a month, and that is not going to happen. So I think what I'm going to do for my 4th quarter sweater, the pattern just came out today, and it's called the Easier Eyelet. I wrote this down. Even easier. I did not write it down. I just wrote down general keywords. I think it's called the Even Easier Eyelet. Yes, Even Easier Eyelet Yoke by Knitatude. And it is knit. I think all of the samples are knit in Lion brand Woolies Thick and Quick, which is a super bulky, big box store, inexpensive yarn. You know, a weight, like Craft Yarn Council weight 6. So I saw that and I thought, I could knit one of those up in like a weekend. Easily. I could do this. And I think I have the yarn. So I saw this last night and the pattern didn't drop till today. So this morning I hopped on Ravelry, looked up the pattern details. I think I have yarn to knit this. So I have 4 skeins of this Cozy Wool by Loops and Threads in this color. And I have some in some other colors too. So I might, if I think that I'm going to run low, I might just do like the ribbing on the sleeves and the body in a different color for like a pop, or just to save myself. But I think this will be my 4th quarter sweater because these have been sitting in my stash for a few years now, probably about two or 3 years. And I've been wanting to work with them and use them and get them out and clear some space. So I think that's what's going to happen for my 4th quarter sweater. Another gray sweater. Another gray one. You guys know I'm going to end up casting on something in like the craziest colors you've ever seen in between because I cannot knit with just gray for this long. And I think those are my future plans. I have not totally decided what I'm doing for my autumnal equinox cast on yet. I may cast on a pair of socks for myself. Maybe I'll cast on my Christmas socks at that point. I may cast on a shawl. I really want to knit the Whippoorwill shawl by Karina Spencer. We'll see if I do that one. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just see. I have no idea. No idea yet. Okay, I have some other things that I want to quickly just share. This is going to be a long one. I didn't think I had anything to talk about today, and apparently I have managed to ramble for over an hour. We're going to try and wrap this up. Podcasts I'm enjoying. Some of you I know found me from Trish of the Best Day Ever Crafting Podcast. Thank you so much for mentioning me, Trish. I really, really appreciate it. I have watched her for several years, and she is always making the best stuff. She knits all the cool things. She sews. She does this like really cool art journaling. Everything she does is just so neat. I love it. So go check her out if you haven't already. I've also been enjoying Dale of Knit 1 T2, her podcast. She's newer. I think she has 12 or 13 episodes out now. Go check her out. She knits a lot of dishcloths, which inspires me to knit dishcloths. I really need to get on that too, because our kitchen could use a refresh. She's knitting right now, what's it called? The My First Knit Summer Vest by Marley Bird. And if you are a longtime watcher, you know that I also knit that. I knit it partially during the make along and then mostly a year later. And so she's knitting one, and it's really fun to see someone else knitting that. I'm going to take a drink, pause. So it's really neat to see her progress on something that I've knit. I tend to knit a lot of patterns that other people have not knit up until now, and or patterns that are not as popular, I guess, with the podcasting community. So it's always fun when I see somebody knitting something that I actually have knit. And I also recently discovered the podcast Midwest Stitches. I know a lot of people already watch her, and I can't think of her name. I'm so sorry, but I'll link her channel down below. And I've watched a couple of her episodes and have really enjoyed those. She's doing like this crochet shawl right now that's really pretty, out of Hocus Pocus inspired colors, and it makes me want to learn crochet. I need more hours in my day. I need more days in my month, more hours in my day. If someone can help me with that, please do. All right, and so those are my podcast recommendations for today. I would really like to use my platform to uplift and support other podcasters, especially ones that are a little bit smaller and newer. And I want to know what you're watching. Have you guys found anybody new lately that you're really enjoying? I've also been watching, Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. A lot of the ones that many people watch. But yeah. Okay, what I'm reading and watching. So I'm just briefly, and if you guys are not interested in this, let me know. If you are interested, also let me know. I work for a library, so it just seems right that I share what I'm reading. I don't know. I like when other people share their book recommendations. I really like thrillers and suspense. And this time of year especially, that's all I want to read and all I want to listen to. I also really enjoy Gothic novels, just the writing structure. I just really like it. Anyways, I did listen to the book In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I loved it. I really, really liked it. It's about a group of people who were very close friends in college, and the book takes place 10 years after they've graduated, and their senior year of college, one of the friends in the group was murdered, and they're all coming back together for their 10-year college reunion. No one knows who did it, so it's got a little bit of a whodunit feel. but you discover that all of these people on the surface have some much deeper, darker secret behind each of them. And like the whole book, you're like, oh, could it have been so-and-so? No. And it's told kind of in flashbacks. I really, really enjoy books like that. So for me, it was really good. There was something about the ending that I wasn't fully satisfied with, and it wasn't like it wasn't the reveal or anything. There was just something about the ending that for me, I can't quite put my finger on, but wasn't, I don't know, as satisfying as I would have liked. But it was still incredibly good. I think that was just a me thing, not a general thing about this book. So I would highly recommend it if that's the kind of book that you like. And now I am listening to Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. And it is just the exact book that I needed right now. I've read several other books by Alice Feeney. I really enjoy her writing. I enjoy her storytelling. And this one is, again, has a little bit of a gothic novel theme. It's about this incredibly dysfunctional family, the Darker family. And they've all come together on Halloween night to Sea Glass, which is like the big family home where Nana, the matriarch of this very dysfunctional family, lives for her 80th birthday. And on this secluded island that no one can go into or come out of during high tide overnight. And there's a murder, and it's so good. It is so good. I really am enjoying it. This one feels a touch Agatha Christie to me, a little bit, like I said, a little bit of a gothic novel theme. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a little bit spooky, and it's perfect for this time of year. Let's see. And what we're watching, you guys are gonna sense a theme here. My husband and I have, very late to the party, finally started really watching Only Murders in the Building over on Hulu, starring Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. And we are really liking it. If you want to see some good knitwear and just some good, it's just got a great aesthetic. It's really good. We are really enjoying it. We just watched episode 4 last night. We're not that far in, but all of this is like my perfect fall, autumn. It's just what I like. So we'll just go right into life update and all of that. It has been a very busy 2 weeks. Last time I filmed, I recorded earlier, a few days early because we were going down out of town to my great uncle's memorial. And on our way down, we got about halfway there and started noticing on our vehicle that every time we would brake, the whole car would shudder. So that was a little bit terrifying. And we decided to just continue on and hope that we were okay. We got to our Airbnb, called my dad. He ran us through some stuff, and we decided the car was safe to drive, but we needed to get it in the shop as soon as we got home. The memorial was really, really nice. It felt like a family reunion or a family picnic. I got to see a lot of extended family I haven't gotten to see in maybe 4 years. And I just know my Uncle Zero would have absolutely loved every second of it. It was really, really nice. We stayed at an Airbnb with my mom and my grandma, and that was really lovely. So other than the car thing, it was actually a great trip. Obviously a sad reason that we went, but really nice to see everyone. So then we got back on Sunday. Monday, we got our car in, and Needed all new brake pads and brand new rotors. So yeah, that was a lot. Had not planned on that, but that was okay. We were okay. Everything's fine. So that's taken care of. Last weekend was Pokemon Go Fest. So we were at the zoo both days playing. If you are a Pokemon Go player, I caught a shiny Rayquaza. Which was very coveted. If you are not, that's a big deal. It's a big thing. I got 17 shinies total over the weekend, and it was really fun. We had a great time. I am looking behind the camera right now because I have these crystal things that my friend Matt got me for my birthday, and they shine rainbows on the wall, and I'm almost never in the summer home at the right time to see the rainbows, and there are rainbows all over my wall. It's so beautiful, and I just keep looking at them because they're so pretty. The wall opposite this, not the wall behind me, unfortunately. That'd be cool if you could see them too. But anyways, Pokemon Go Fest was great. All that being said, I have not clearly had a ton of knitting time, and it's just been very busy. September is looking even busier. So we have this weekend in the United States. Monday is Labor Day, which means a lot of people have a long weekend. I don't exactly. I work tomorrow, so my weekend is broken up, but I'll still have Monday off. So I still have an extra day off, which is nice. But then next weekend, I have one less day off because it is my Sunday to work. So I lose a day there. And then the following weekend, I'm taking a long weekend because I start my sewing classes, which is the other reason I won't be podcasting for sure that very last Friday in September, because I will have been taking sewing classes on my free evenings for those past 2 weeks. It's a 2-week course, and I'm very excited about it. But I really won't have much knitting time whatsoever that week, those couple of weeks. That will be a very, very busy period. And then I have the baby shower the very last day of September. And I know that there are Pokemon Go things in between. And yeah, my schedule is full. And then October, the first weekend in October, we have a wedding that we're going to, and it's also my dad's birthday, and there's a lot going on. So much going on. All good things. But fall is going to be very busy. So, okay, this is enough. This might be my longest episode ever, and I feel like I didn't have anything to talk about. So I'm going to work on getting this edited and uploaded for you guys and get to working on those pickles. So I hope that you all are having a really wonderful day. I hope that you have all had a wonderful summer as we move into fall. I know on my agenda today is putting up fall decor. I've got a apple cider donut scented candle going right now. I have dinner in the crock pot. We had our first really cool day on Thursday where it was just gray, and it only ever got to the low 60s for the high, and I wore a shawl, and it was so cozy. And I know next week it's going to be 90 degrees several days, which in Celsius is in the low 30s Celsius. So quite hot, but I'm ready for fall, and that's what we're doing. So I hope that you guys have a great couple of weeks, or maybe month or more until I see you again. And I hope that regardless of when I see you, that you'll have some time to enjoy and relax, whatever, do whatever, do some crafting in your little corner of paradise. and I will be over here frantically knitting away in my little corner of Paradise. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.